Good morning, my dear friends. Today I am going to explain the story The Enemy. Now we are going to continue because we have done some of the paragraphs. So I am reading, and according to the paragraphs and passages, if required, I will just give reference and explanation. So Hannah cried at her severely, "You will do what your master commands you." Here Hannah is the wife of the Dr. Sadao Hockey, and her refers to the maid Yumi. So she was not willing to do what her mistress wanted. Means Hannah wanted that Yumi bring water, bucket of water, and just to wash the wounded enemy so that Dr. Sadao Hockey operate him nicely. There was so fierce a look of resistance upon Yumi. This shows the height of patriotism, that she was very much adamant, okay, arrogant, that at any cost she is not going to uh, perform the activity, the action her mistress demanded. Okay, round dull face that Hannah felt, okay, unreasonably afraid, and Hannah was also afraid that what will happen if these servants, Yumi, will report about us, okay, to the police. After all, if the servants should report something that was not as it happened, very well, she said, with dignity, means with masking her fear and with a tone of a master. You understand, we want to bring him to his senses so that we can turn, okay, him over a prisoner. And she made her thoughts clear. She made her planning clear before the servant. I will have nothing to do with it, okay? Yumi said, I am a poor person and it is not my business. Means she just outright, okay, um, disobeyed to her mistress. Then please, Hannah said gently, return to your own work. At once Yumi left the room, but this left Hannah with the white man alone. And as she was first time, okay, uh, beside the white man was, okay, lying almost dead. She might have been too afraid to say, had not her anger at Yumi stubbornness now, okay, sustained her. Means Yumi was very much determined, okay, arrogant in this case, and Hannah had to just compromised a little bit. Stupid Yumi, she muttered fiercely, is this anything but a man, and a wounded helplessness man? So here the narrator has tried to just tell you that it is the education that brings, adjustment and compromise, the hallmark of humanity, according to the narrator, whom we will call human if they are not, okay, traditionally obliged, culturally very much inclined, very much egoist. According to him, a man should be very much compromising, okay, towards his tradition, towards his culture, towards his religion, towards his everything. He should not propagate his everything, okay, as a superior one. He should practice with just with happiness, with morality, with everything, but he should not publicly publicize this, that this is the very good, okay, and very nice. And this lesson was well known conveyed by the two educationists, two well educated men, the one Dr. Sadao Hockey, and the second one, the wife of Dr. Sadao Hockey, that is Mrs. Hannah. Is a wounded helpless man. In the conviction of her own superiority, she bent impulsively and untied the knotted rugs that kept the white man covered, and now she herself is going to the body and she is going to wash. See, let's what's happened next. When she had his breast okay bare, she dipped the small clean towel that Yumi had brought into steaming hot water and washed his face carefully. The man's skin, though rough with exposure, was of a fine texture and must have been very blonde when he was a child. So this is the feelings of Hannah about the wounded man, and this is just like a nurse feeling, okay, motherly feelings. Shakespeare says that the seven stages of human life, that is not nurse arms. Here, nurse refers to caretaker, mother. So she was just when she was cleaning, she was cleaning the wounded man. She has a feeling of a mother, okay, a nurse, a caretaker. Will Hannah help the wounded man and wash him herself? These are the questions. While she was thinking these thoughts, thou not really liking the man better now that he was no longer a child. She kept on washing him until his upper body was quite clean, but she dared not turn him over. Where was Shadao? Means the back part was the upper part was cleaned by Hannah, and now she was looking for Dr. Shadao Hockey. Where was Shadao? Now her anger was ebbing and she was anxious. Means now she was no longer very much angry. Against and she rose, wiping her hands on the wrong towel, and then lest wrong towel say refers to the towel that was used for washing. Sorry, um, wiping her hand that she was not using. This shows that she was little bit confused. Then lest the man be chilled, she put the quilt over him. Shadao, she called softly. He had been about to come again in when she called. His hand had been on the door and now he opened it. She saw that he had brought his surgeon's emergency bag and that he wore his surgeon's coat. Now he was totally prepared, okay, to operate. You have decided to operate, she cried. Yes, he said shortly. He turned his back to her and unfolded a sterilized towel upon the floor of the tokonoma alcove. This is the kind of clothes, and put his instruments out upon it. Fetch towels, he said. She went obediently, but how anxious now, to the linen shelves and took out the towels. Now they are just arranging the things, okay, just like in operation theater. There ought also to be old pieces of matting so that the blood would not ruin the fine floor covering. She went out to the black veranda where the gardener kept strips of matting with which to protect delicate shrubs on cold nights, and took an armful of them. She is bringing some small pieces of cotton or some kind of clothes that are used for the covering of small plants by the gardener. But when she went back, okay, into room, she saw this was useless. The blood had already shook through the packing in the man's wounded and had ruined the mat under him. Oh, the mat, she cried. Yes, it is ruined. Sadao replied as though he did not care. Help me to turn him. He commanded her. She obeyed him without a word, and he began to wash the man's back carefully. It was the chest part there. She has already cleaned it. Now it was the back part. She's going to clean now. Yumi would not wash him, she said. Did you wash him then? Sadao asked, not stopping for a moment. His swift, concise movements means while operating, okay, while inspecting the fainted body of the wounded man, and he was talking. Yes, he said. He did not seem to hear her, but she was used to his absorption when he was at work. She wondered for a moment if it mattered to him what was the body upon which he worked so long, as it was for the work he did so excellently. Means the same body, means in similar kind of body he has operated in USA. means when he was preparing himself, okay, training him, getting training as a surgeon, as a doctor, so he has operated in similar kind of body, so he was well equipped, okay, well trained, okay, and well aware of the parts of the body of the fainted wounded um, enemy. You will have to give the anesthetic if he needs it, a kind of chloroform, okay. He said, I, she repeated blankly, but never have I. It is easy enough, he said impatiently. He was taking out the packing now, and the blood began to flow more quickly. Means he was just trying to detect the bullets from the packings of the wounds. He peered into the wound with the bright surgeon's light fastened on his forehead. The bullet is still there, he said with cool interest. Now I wonder how deep this rock wound is. If it is not too deep, it may be that I can get the bullet. But the bleeding is not superficial. He has lost much blood. At this moment, Hannah choked. He looked up. Choked means he just choked his mouth, put palms on his um, uh, mouth. This shows that she was very much astonished, surprised, shocked, and frightened. He looked up and saw her face, the color of sulfur, means yellowish. Don't faint, he said sharply. He did not put down his exploring instrument. If I stop now, the man will surely die. Means he was asking for favor from Hannah that don't faint. Okay, otherwise what will happen? I won't be able to operate him. I need your assistant, okay, to give me the things that I have just laid open on that carpet or somewhere on the clothes. She clapped her hands, okay, to her mouth and leaped up and ran out of the room. Outside in the garden, he heard her retching, but he went on with his work. It will be better for her to empty her stomach. He thought he had forgotten that, of course, she had never seen an operation. This was the first time for Hannah. But her distress and his inability to go to her at once made him impatient and irritable with this man who lay like dead under his knife. This man, he thought, there is no reason under heaven why he should live. Unconsciously, this thought made him ruthless and he proceeded swiftly. Means he was having the feeling of both as a doctor and as an enemy. So very sometimes kindly and sometimes unkindly he was operating. In his dream, the man moaned, but Sadao paid no heed except to mutter at him. Groan, he muttered. Groan if you like. I am not doing this for my own pleasure. In fact, I do not know why I am doing it. This is the dilemma. The door opened and there was Hannah again. Where is the anesthetic? She asked in a clear voice. Sadao motioned, okay, with his chin, means indicated. It is as well that you came back, he said. This fellow is beginning to stir, means some kind of, movement in his body has started taking place. She had She had the bottle and some cotton in her hand. But how shall I do it? She asked. Simply saturate the cotton and hold it near his nostril. This is the process, okay, that Dr. Sada Hockey teaching or just telling that how to just use anesthetic to make this wounded man faint. Sadao replied without delaying for one moment. The intricate detail of his work when he breathes badly move it away a little. She crunches close to the sleeping face of the young American. It was piteously thin face, she thought, and the lips were twisted. This shows that she was completely confined and shocked. The man was suffering whether he knew it or not. Watching him, they wondered if the stories they heard sometimes of the sufferings of prisoners were true. and now she was reminded with some ghostly story or some bad story about the soldiers, about the sufferings. They came like flickers of rumor told by word of mouth and always contradicted. Means this kind of a story she has heard and now she is facing. In the newspapers, the reporters were always that wherever the Japanese armies went, the people received them gladly with cries of joy at their liberation. This is the impact of war that she has explored in these lines. That she is telling that whenever a man is going for fighting from his country, the countrymen just boost the morale of the soldiers, but the countrymen don't know that what suffering and what hardship they face at the workplace, and when they are uh, captured by their enemy army, enemy soldiers. When the people received them gladly with cries of joy at their liberation, but sometimes she remembered such men of General Takima, who at home beat his wife cruelly. Now she is having a kind of mixtures of feelings about the army men, okay, about the soldiers, okay, that how they are tough, how they are cruel, and what kind of suffering they have. She was mixed up, okay, in her thoughts, lost in her thoughts. No one mentioned it now that he had fought so victorious a battle in Manchuria. If a man like that could be so cruel to a woman in his power, would he not be cruel to one like this, for instance? She hoped anxiously that this young man had not been tortured. It was at this moment that she observed deep red scars on his neck just under the ear, and she could see some kind of scars under the neck of that wounded man. Those scars, she murmured, lifting her eyes to Sada, but he did not answer. At this moment, he felt the tip of his instrument strike against something hard, and that was the bullet. Dangerously near the kidney, all thought left him. He felt only the purest pleasure. He probed with his finger, delicately familiar with every atom of this human body, anatomy, structure of anatomy, okay, that is internal part of the body. So he was very much well equipped and well informed about this. His old American professor of anatomy had seen to that knowledge. Ignorance of the human body is the surgeon's cardinal sin, sirs. This was the opinion about the professor of anatomy in America, and Dr. Sada was very much, very soon reminded of that. That what is that? Ignorance of the human body, okay, is the surgeon's cardinal sin, very big sin. Sirs, he had thundered at his classes year after year to operate without as complete knowledge of the body as if you had made it. Anything less than that is murder. It is not quite at the kidney, my friend, Sadao Mohammed. And this was his habit of calling friend while operating the patient. So on that time, operating the enemy is the wounded man, wounded American man. He forgot that the man whom I am operating is my enemy, not my friend. So finally, humanity is overpowering the sense of patriotism. It was his habit to murmur to the patient when he forgot himself in an operation. My friend, he always called his patients, and so now he did, forgetting that this was his enemy. Till here we are doing. This is a very little bit long story. So we'll do it in next explanation. We will continue in next class as well. So homework assignment I have given you one. India is standing at the threshold of joining the developed nations, but that is not possible till we achieve complete literacy in the country. The contribution of students may be very significant in achieving our goals. Write an article in 200 words on the role of the students in removing illiteracy. So this is the topic for your article writing. You'll write article, okay, in 200 words and then submit it. Okay. Thank you very much. All the best. God bless you all.